Hey, what's up you guys? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Tara and I make videos about digital planning and different ways that you can get creative with your iPad. So if that sounds like something that's of interest to you, feel free to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so that you never miss a video. That all being said, let's go ahead and jump into the purpose of today's video, which is going to be setting up my weekly plan with me for February. You guys, I'm absolutely loving these stickers. I just think they are so adorable and I cannot wait to see how this weekly spread turns out. If you missed it, what you're looking at right now is my monthly spread. So I will link that video in the cards in case you want to watch and see how I did all this. And also what you wouldn't have seen in that video would be these little Mardi Gras stickers. These I'm just going to be giving away as a little freebie. I just took some of my previous Mardi Gras artwork and I turned them into stickers for you guys. So if you want those freebies, you can gain access to them by subscribing to my Patreon. You can do any of the tiers, but the free tier will also allow you to download these. So totally up to you, but I will leave the links for that down in the description. And yeah, let's go ahead and jump into the planning part. Okay, so we've got our nice little blank slate here, and the very first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to come to my elements. And if you watched my weekly setup from January, you would have seen that I saved a really handy element that looks like this. If you need to go back and watch that video, I will also link that in the cards. But basically all I did was I took my highlighter tool and then I went ahead and just basically made the shapes that needed to fit in here. And then I just saved them as an element. Now, before I touch this, before I move it or take it anywhere, what I'm going to do is tap off of it. And then I'm going to tap back on my elements. And I'm just going to tap that same element and paste it one more time. So the reason I'm doing this is because if you use the element tool and you don't zoom in or out on the screen, you don't move anything, and you just tap that same element again, it will paste it in the exact same space. And so I've done that just so that we can make the highlighter colors a bit deeper. Personally, I think it just matches the color palette just a little bit more closely when you do it that way, so that's my reasoning for this. It's not super important, but it's a little hack if you do want your colors to be a little bit more consistent and a little less highlighter toned. So now that these are pasted in exactly the same spot, I'm just going to lasso all of them and then move them together exactly where they need to go. And boom, that was super easy. So now what we're going to do is just lasso the different pieces and then change them to our color palette. So for this setup, we're going to be using my second color palette, which is my Pretty in Pink color palette. So I'm just going to grab these two and I'm going to change the colors of them to, I think, this second pink color. And then I'm going to take 1, 2, 3. So I'm just skipping 2 in between. And I'm going to change this color to the darker pink. I'm going to take the next 2 after that and then change it to the third pink. And then I'm going to take these last 2 and change them to my lightest pink. Okay, so now I've got these colors how I want them. I'm also going to come to my elements. And I'm going to find my background color element. So I just took a screenshot of the background and then I added that square as an element so that I can use it anytime that I want to. So for me, that is located in this folder. And I'm just going to cover up the space here. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come here to my sticker set. And I'm going to grab this one, this third pink. And I'm going to paste it here. Grab my image tool. I'm going to flip it horizontally. And then I'm going to tap on it and crop it. And I think I'm going to need it to be about, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 3.5, 3.5-ish width. And then I'm going to take this corner. I'm just going to size this until it fits. And actually, I think I'm going to just, it doesn't need to change too much, so I'm just going to grab my arrows and pull it out. I think that's good enough, honestly. Yeah, I like that. So now what I'm going to do is I am going to grab some of these sweet treats and I'm just going to kind of put them up there. But I also think that I want to use this quote here, this "I love you." I'm just gonna put that kind of nice and big. And let's take both the straw and the hot chocolate, and I'm gonna copy this and paste it. And we're just gonna kind of put it over here. And then I think I'm gonna grab this cake. And put that here. And then maybe just a couple hearts. So let's copy these hearts. I'm gonna paste them, and we don't need this one. I'm just gonna resize these a little bit. Like, I don't want them super big. I think that size will be perfect. And I'm just gonna use my image tool now. Okay, so I know some parts of this are blending in, so what I'm actually gonna do is take my pen tool, and I'm gonna take it in this white color, which should be my background white, but let me just check. Yeah, so I know that the hex code for my background color is FC. So that's perfect. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna come in here, and I'm going to kind of trace all around this as if it's like a sticker outline. And I'm gonna use my thicker pen tool. So this one is set right now at 1.45 millimeters. And I'm just going to trace around. And I'll just speed through this part. Okay, so you can start to kind of get an idea of what I'm going to be going for here. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to take the pink, I'm going to move this down, and then I'm just going to turn on images only. And now I'm just going to grab these images, and I'm going to cut them. And now I'm going to take my image tool and just move this pink background up here again. And now I'm going to paste these stickers back into place. And now they're significantly more visible. It just looks so much nicer, don't you think? Okay, now I'm going to come back to my sticker pack. I am going to grab this red and pink one, this gradient here. And I'm gonna paste it, grab my image tool, and then we're gonna use these arrows on either side to get this to fit how we want it. And I always try to get mine to line up with the bottom here. And then I am going to take this one, and I'm gonna copy this one and paste it here, grab my image tool, and I'll probably mess with the size of this a little bit more, but for now, that's pretty good. And then the next thing I wanna do is come take my note sticker here, and we're gonna paste this, grab the image tool. And you notice I pretty much always resize with the image tool. It's because the lasso tool always makes things crooked, and it drives me absolutely crazy. If you're not new here, you know that about me already. But in case you were wondering, that's why I typically move things around with the image tool instead. Okay, I'm gonna move this down just a little bit because I wanna have room for some washi tape. So let's grab this cute washi tape here. And then this one, I'm okay to just use this tool because I want it to be a little crooked, in fact. I think it gives it a little character. And then I want to add some hearts here. So I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna use this deep pink color. So let's paste this and grab my image tool. And I am just going to do a few of them in some different sizes. Okay, so another thing that I want to do is I'm going to take my deep pink that I have here and let's draw like a fun squiggly line. Yeah, I think that'll do. The only thing is I am going to do some erasing here just to give this like a nice flat edge. So I need to be really careful that I'm zoomed in far enough and that my precision eraser is on. And I've got my smallest eraser and I'm just going to try to make this as close to that flat line as possible. And then I'm going to come down to the bottom and do the same. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on handwriting and then copy this. And I'm going to paste it. And I'm going to copy both of these and paste them. And then we're going to move these over. And I want to try to get them so that they basically line up with this. So I'm going to just play around with them a little bit and move them closer. So I'm just going to change the color of each of these. So now we've got the gradient there. Okay, and I actually just decided to flip it because I didn't feel like it was giving me enough space up here for what I want it for. So I'm just gonna go back and flip these colors. Okay, now that's looking much better. Now I'm going to grab my pen and change this to the fountain pen. And I have my tip sharpness at 25% and my pressure sensitivity at 25%. You can write however you prefer, but that's what I have mine at. And I'm going to use the medium pen at 0.45 millimeters. And then I've got my darkest pink selected. And I'm actually going to use this line here to guide my writing. And maybe I'll put a little heart because it's February. Even though I don't really love distractions, but I don't know, it's a theme, right? And then what I'm going to do is draw a straight line underneath here. Okay, so one other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw another straight line here. And I'm just going to use this as a guide. So if you guys know me, you know that I like to use little guides here and there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this top line to mark where the top of my D is, and I'm going to use this line here to match up the line at the bottom. So the reason I'm doing that is because basically I'm just going to copy and paste this and match it the whole way down. So I'll just match this D here and this line here. And it's okay if it's slightly off, but this gives it a pretty close look so that you can't really tell. And I'm just doing this for the weekdays because it's not really that important what distracts me on the weekends. Okay, and now I'm just going to move this over. I know I'm going to use this later, so I'm just going to line that up there. And now what I can do is just grab all of these. And instead of keeping them all the way up there, I'm just going to kind of move them to a location that I'm happier with. So I want them pretty centered here and then just a little bit of breathing room below that top margin. And I like that. So we're going to leave that there. And now I'm going to come grab one of these hearts that can be filled in. I'm going to copy this and I am going to paste it. And then I want it to be fairly small because I want to be able to fit probably at least 6 of these in here. So I think that's about a good size. So what I'm going to do is just line the center up here with this line, and then I'm just going to copy it and paste it and paste it again and just try to kind of space those out evenly. And this part I am just going to kind of eyeball, and then I'm going to copy the 3 and paste them. And it looks like I might actually end up having room for one more. So I'm going to copy 1 and paste it. All right, so let's just copy those all together. And we'll just paste and line them up with this line. And just paste these all the way down. And then I'm going to turn my stroke eraser on and then just erase that line. Okay, so this is where I am putting all of my tasks. Basically, I'm gonna take a look at my monthly and then I see what needs to be done over my 2-week sprints, and then I kind of break up a lot of those tasks into what needs to be completed for the week, and I will just schedule them all in at these bullet points. I typically try to leave my Thursday and my Friday a little bit lighter because I know it's inevitable that my Monday through Wednesday, there will be some leftover things that maybe don't get completed. So I try to give myself that space. And then I also like to have a little bit of space at the top for like writing down events or things that are scheduled for that day. Like for example, my videos. I know that I'm going to have a video on the 8th. So I'm just gonna come here and grab my little video stickers. I think I'll do this light one. And I'm just gonna paste that. And then I can just stick that there. Now I know that I have a video that needs to be posted that day. Okay, the next thing I'm gonna do is I am going to add, I think, this light picture frame here. Just gonna angle it a bit. And then I'm gonna add a paper clip this time. Let's do a heart paper clip, of course. Just gonna copy this and paste it. Excellent. Let's come back here and grab this paint stroke. Grab my image tool because I want to adjust the size of this and the width. So I'm just gonna make it thicker. Okay. And then I'm just gonna copy that and then paste it down here. But we're gonna flip it just for a little bit of variation. And then I'm gonna come back to my brush pen that I have, and I'm going to write here on this line, I'm going to write rewards. I'm gonna move that up. And I'm also going to give myself a space for reflection. So I'm going to write wins. So then at the end of the week, I can take a look at my wins. Let's do the little heart and see how I did. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to bring this up here, and I actually think I want these a little bit bigger. So let's resize them together. I think that'll be a good size. And let's just change the color so it's the same color as that background. So it's gonna be this third pink, and it kind of now looks like it was sort of like cut out of that. And then we're gonna put this one here. That looks super cute, I like that. But yeah, I haven't really rewarded myself for getting things done in a long time, so I'm gonna try and see if that works for me. I know it has in the past, but I'm really bad at rewarding myself. I just reward myself anyway, whether I do the things or not. So it'll be a little bit of a practice and discipline, I guess. I was reminded about rewarding myself actually from one of my Patreon patrons. May, if you're watching this, thank you for the reminder. Okay, now we're almost finished, so let's go ahead and grab this one. We're gonna paste it, grab the image tool, and we are going to flip it and just kind of size it to fit this space. And then I'm gonna grab this February sticker and then paste that here and place it on top. And I'm gonna take my highlighter tool and I'm gonna highlight the week that we're in. So I've got my medium size, which is at 3.45 millimeters. And I'm just gonna highlight this part. Select it and change the color. And then the very last thing to do is just to add in some finishing touches. So I'm gonna come to my sticker pack and I'm gonna add in some of the chocolate sweets. So let's start with this one. And I'm just going to kind of place that here. I think that's a good place for it. Copy this one. Now this strawberry. And I think I'm going to paste that here. And I'm going to paste that same one again and just move it up here. Just want a little bit of balance here with the chocolate. And I think I'm going to add some of these kisses in. Just going to make them a little bigger. I think I want to put this one over here. And I'm using my picture tool here because I just feel like it gives me a little bit more freedom. Maybe this one down here and this one here. Okay, maybe I want this one a little smaller. And maybe this just like a little bigger. And then I'm just going to finish up with a little bit of the confetti. So I'm just going to grab the confetti here and I'm going to paste it. And then I'm also going to grab these hearts. I'm going to paste those too. And then I'm just going to copy these and paste them an extra time. It just gives me a little more freedom. And I'm going to resize these together because I want them just a little bigger. Still small though, still confetti size. And we're just gonna kind of place these around. So I will also kind of zoom through this. I think you guys get the idea of how this works. But I mostly just try to vary the colors. And then I'm just gonna kind of move this Hershey's Kiss just a little bit. And I think I'm happy with that look. So I'm just going to delete these. Okay, so now one thing that I want to do is I'm going to take my Elements tool and I am going to tap here and it's just going to bring forward that element that I made earlier and I'm just going to just move it to the side for a second. And now I'm going to take my lasso tool with images turned on and I'm just going to grab basically the part that's the Polaroid frame and anything that's on top of it. So it's going to be this Hershey Kiss, the Polaroid frame, and just I'm going to grab the edge of the paper clip and making sure that I'm not grabbing the gradient effect underneath. So you can double check by just kind of wiggling it a little bit. And I am going to add that as an element. And I am going to put it into my 2024 folder. I can delete it after February is over. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hit the back button. So it's going to move that back into place and move the element back into place, but my element will stay in that folder. So the reason I've done that is because each week when I go and I add in my photo into here, I can size it where it needs to fit, and then I can just delete all those pieces and then throw this piece back on top. So it just kind of speeds up the process so that I don't have to size the photo, cut the frame, paste the frame back on top, cut the paper clip, then paste the paper clip back on top, then cut the kiss, and then place the kiss back on top. So instead of having to cut and paste 3 things, I can just easily delete them and then add the single element back on top. And then the very, 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 very last thing that I'm going to do is I'm just going to make sure handwriting and images are all turned on and I have no text boxes here, so we're good. And I'm just going to select everything. And I am going to add this as an element as well to that same folder, so to my 2024 folder. The really nice thing about that is that now I can very easily just go in and add that element. And then you just line it up. And now it's all set, so I can just go through and do that for the whole month. And then the only thing you have to do is then just move your weeks. So for this one, I can just erase that highlighter. And I'll just swap out the different icons like for my videos and stuff when they need to be scheduled. But yeah, that's everything for today's video. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this. I hope that you picked up a couple little tips or tricks and ways that you can be creative in your own digital planning. Thank you guys so much. I think this turned out really, really cute. I think it's a lot of fun and super functional. I hope you guys liked it, and I will see you guys in my next video. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. As always, you're the best, and I absolutely love you. and I'll see you next time. Bye!